My family faked my death, but I showed up at my own funeral. It started with a message, a video from Mrs. Langford, our old neighbor. I hadn't heard from her in years, and just seeing her name on my screen brought back memories I thought I'd buried. The message was short, no greeting, no explanation, just one chilling line. "I'm so sorry about your parents. I can't believe what I saw today." My stomach twisted. I tapped the video. It was footage of a church, a familiar one. St. Peter's, Albans, the same place they used to take me every Christmas Eve as a child. The camera zoomed in slowly on the altar, and then I saw them, my parents. My mother in black lace and pearls, dabbing fake tears. My father, stiff and solemn, reading from a paper with shaking hands. Behind them, she was always a troubled girl, but we loved her. We did everything we could. He was reading my eulogy. Though she left this world too young, we pray her soul finally finds peace. I wasn't dead. I was in my apartment, alive, breathing, shaking. This couldn't be real. I scrubbed the timeline back and played the video again. Their expressions didn't change. Their voices were steady. This wasn't grief. This was theater. Rehearsed, choreographed. What the hell was going on? I hadn't spoken to them in years, not since they disowned me. But to declare me dead? To hold a funeral? Then my mother mentioned my tragic accident. There had been no accident, and my father spoke about my final years spent in isolation. I wasn't in hiding. I was working, living, surviving. They knew. They had to know. I watched until the end, numb. The camera panned over mourners, relatives, friends, even my childhood piano teacher. All of them dressed in black, all of them believing I was gone. No one had tried to reach me. I played it again, just to make sure I wasn't imagining it. But it was real. They hadn't just cut me off. They buried me, alive. And at that moment, something clicked. This wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. The shock wore off. Then came the rage. I needed answers. I started calling relatives. First, Aunt Rachel, my mother's sister, the woman who used to sneak me candy at family events. "Hi, Aunt Rachel, it's me, Maya." Click. She hung up. I tried again. Blocked. Cousins? One sent me a thumbs up emoji and vanished. Another replied, "Is this some kind of sick joke?" No one believed I was me, except one, my youngest cousin Sam, the one who used to follow me around like a little shadow. He texted, "Maya, are you really alive?" "Yes, please. What did they tell everyone?" Long pause. Then, "They said you died in a car crash overseas. 3 years ago. Closed casket. Cremation. Too late to bring you home." I nearly dropped my phone. There had been no crash, no missing report. I'd never even owned a car abroad. Pulled out everything I had. Passport stamps, lease agreements, tax records, immigration files. All proof I was never gone. Then I checked the National Registry. And there it was, Maya Dakwa. Date of death, July 16th. Cause, road accident. Status, deceased. They'd forged a death certificate. I stared at the screen, numb. This wasn't grief. This wasn't denial. This was a cover-up. But why? What were they hiding that was worth erasing me? I kept digging. That's when I found Elena's Instagram. She'd gone public again, and there it was. Champagne, diamonds, white roses, her wedding. Everyone was there. Aunt Rachel, the one who just hung up on me. My cousins, smiling, raising glasses. Even great Uncle Theo, the man who never showed up for anything. Everyone but me. Not even a single caption. Wish Maya could have been here. Because Maya didn't exist. Until I looked closer. One photo from the reception showed a speech in progress. Her husband stood smiling, and beside him, my father raising a glass. The caption, "To the one daughter who always made us proud." There it was. I hadn't just been forgotten. I'd been replaced. I checked the family business records, and my blood turned to ice. The trust fund my grandparents left for me, college money, startup funds, all transferred to Elena. 6 months after my death. Quietly, legally. She didn't mourn me. She inherited me. That was it. If they wanted me dead, they were about to find out just how alive I really was. Sunday came, the day of the memorial. I walked into a law office that morning with a stack of documents and fire in my chest. Passport stamps, employment records, tax forms, lease agreements, flight data. Unshakable proof. The young lawyer stared at me like I was a ghost. "You're challenging your own—" I cut him off. "We don't have time. Apparently, there's a memorial happening this Sunday." That afternoon, I got a message from an unknown number. "They're holding your memorial next Sunday, St. Albans." No name, no explanation, but I knew the place. I knew the address. And now, I had a plan. The church was packed. Cars lined the street like a parade of grief. I stood across from it in a black coat and sunglasses, watching from the shadows like a ghost at her own wake. Inside, the music started, slow, solemn. Candles flickered beneath my photo. My father took the pulpit, face carved in stone, voice trembling just enough to sound sincere. She was troubled, but we loved her. My mother sat in the front row, dabbing perfectly timed tears, like she'd rehearsed it. And Elena, wearing pearls, voice quivering. Maya was complicated, but she was my sister. I wish I could have said goodbye. A lie, wrapped in a tear, tied with a bow. Then came the moment. "Let us stand," said the priest, for a moment of silence. The whole room rose, heads bowed, eyes closed, and I pushed the doors open. The groan of those heavy oak doors sliced through the quiet like a scream. Light poured in behind me like a spotlight, and I stepped into it. Each step down the marble aisle echoed like a war drum. Click, click, click. Whispers turned into gasps. A child's voice rang out. "Mom, isn't that her?" I removed my sunglasses. Dozens of eyes locked on mine, stunned, pale, terrified. My mother collapsed in a dramatic faint. My father dropped his wine glass. It shattered on the floor. Elena clutched her pearls like they could save her. The glass slipped from her fingers, champagne soaking her perfect white heels. Even the priest stepped back. I didn't say a word. I didn't have to. My presence was the reckoning. The room held its breath as I reached the front. I turned, faced them all, and smiled. "I heard I died," I said, voice clear. "But I'm here to correct the story." No one moved. Phones were raised, but no one even blinked. There was no car crash, no cremation, no closed casket, just lies. I pulled out a thick folder from my coat. Sealed, stamped, dated. Passport stamps, employment history, tax filings, apartment leases. I've been alive. I've been working, surviving. The only thing I lost was them. I turned to my parents. They told the world I died, filed false documents, buried me so they could steal everything. Then I turned to Elena. They gave it all to her. My trust fund, my inheritance, my life. She opened her mouth. I didn't let her speak. Don't enjoy the house you bought with my money too much. Gasps behind me. Someone whispered, she's got proof. A red record light blinked. Someone was filming. Good. Let the world see this for what it is. Not a funeral. A cover-up. I locked eyes with my father. You didn't lose a daughter. You threw her away. And now, you get to watch her walk back in. They looked like ghosts now. Shaken, silent. And I wasn't done. As I turned to leave, the church bells began to ring. A funeral toll. But not for me. This time, it was for the lie. Montage. I handed the documents to my lawyer, signed the final page, watched the death certificate get ripped in half. My legal resurrection was official. An investigation opened into fraud, forgery, embezzlement. Let them try to lie their way out of this now. Voiceover. Sometimes you have to die in their world to be reborn in your own. And this time, I wasn't coming back for forgiveness. I was coming back for freedom.